سلايد ولا حاجه ممكن هتكلم الهيدلاينز بس، اذا كنت هقول اول الهيدلاين، اذا كنتوا فاهمين الكلام ماشي ازاي فيتسيب كده. لان المره اللي فاتت قعدنا الوقت مع كده، الوقت عدى الساعه 2 زي ما قلنا بنمشي على الساعه 3 وكده، احنا عايزين نخلص 1:30. فاحنا بس جاست هيبقى الشرح بالانجلش هيبقى بالانجلش. ولو في هيدلاينز انا هقولها، يعني مش هعرف اتكلم من كل حاجه نظرا عشان نلتزم بالجدول وما يبقاش في اي تاخير لحضرتك. فهل في مشاكل ان احنا نشرح بالانجلش او الموضوع يبقى كده؟ ان شاء الله الامور تبقى مفهومه للجميع.
Good morning and thank you very much for coming. Accept my apologies that I can't deliver this presentation in Arabic, but Ahmed will provide you some guidance with some brief summaries on what I'm going to say. Now, one point that is strikingly apparent is that astronomy plays a core part in the cultural routing of the Middle East. And the rich heritage and tradition in this area provides a strong basis for the development of a modern society through education and knowledge. If we go to the Museum of Islamic Art in Doha, we find a beautiful collection of astrolabes and astronomical textbooks. Moreover, stars are frequently known around the world, more frequently by an Arabic name rather than by one coming from any other language. Therefore, fostering the development of modern astronomy is by no means a westernization of Arabia, but rather reviving what is genuinely Arabic. Here in Qatar, a sustainable research base in the sciences has never been grown. Therefore, however, there cannot be any science without scientists. And Qatar cannot rely in the long term on talent being imported, but also needs to grow its own at home. When I say home, I refer to residence and not nationality. Now, building capacity in Qatar crucially depends on education. And one needs to inspire, to wonder, think, explore, and investigate, such that science and discovery will foster development, improvement, and sustainability.
هو الكلام اللي فات هو بيتكلم عن الاسترونومي ووجوده بالنسبه للعرب، نظره تاريخيه يعني على الفلك. هو اتكلم بيقول ان احنا في مغرب الفلك الاسلامي في حاجات كتير لو رحنا حتى ايفن على الانترنت موجود ليه ديزاين هناك وكلام كتير هناك، تقدر تاخد رحله للاولاد هناك هيتعرفوا على حاجات كتير. بيتكلم على بس هيستوريك فيجن سريعا ان معظم اسامي النجوم، اسماء كتير من النجوم اسماء عربيه.
The most important resource of any country are gifted individuals who not only have a vision but also the drive and passion to turn it into a reality. In 2001, a Qatari guy knocked at our door in St. Andrews in Stockholm. He told us that he wanted to study for a PhD in astronomy, with the ultimate goal to return to his country and establish an astronomical research institute. Well, he actually did it. And on the way built his own instrument, with which he discovered a planet orbiting a star other than the Sun, named Qatar 1b after his project, the Qatar Exoplanet Survey. And 3 years ago, he received an exceptional grant from Qatar National Research Fund for an expansion of the project. also leading to the establishment of Qatar's first astronomy research group, involving 4 other researchers now. And at the same time, the efforts were recognized by Qatar Foundation. Operations moved under the roof of the Qatar Environment and Energy Research Institute. The second phase of the Qatar Exoplanet Survey now includes installations at 3 observing sites around the world, in China, Canary Islands, and New Mexico, and will find planets of Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune size by them transiting in front of the host star and thereby blocking out part of its light, which not only leads to their identification but also to a size measurement. Now, earlier this year, the Qatar Exoplanet team were able to announce the discovery of 3 further hitherto unknown planets, well, apparently coming in red, green, and blue. But please keep in mind that these colors and the appearance of the planets are just a representation of the fantasy of an artist and are not actual pictures.
اوكي هو اتكلم على الدكتور خالد السبيعي. هو المدير المشروع اللي احنا فيه في السنشاء استرونومي، ودي حاجه اسمها الشغل اللي احنا بنشتغله في قطر فاونديشن، قطر اكزوبلانيت سيرفي، اللي احنا عباره عن اكتشاف الكواكب ولكن خارج المجموعه الشمسيه. واتكلم عن اخر بلد اكتشاف لينا اللي هم قطر بي 3 و 4. كانوا مكتشفين قطر بي 1 وقطر بي 2 في 2010 2011، ودول اخر 3 كواكب اكتشفناهم لسه موجودين عن اكتشافهم. كان في الصيف اللي فات شهر 6 او شهر 7 كان شهر 6 اللي فات. والالوان دي عباره عن فانتازي، يعني مش هي دي الالوان الحقيقيه ليهم.
طب بيدوروا على قوانين
They are orbiting around which star?
They're orbiting at the star that is actually now called Qatar 4, Qatar 3, Qatar 4, and Qatar 5.
This is the planet or the star?
No, the planet is now called Qatar 3b, 4b, and 5b, because B refers to the second object in the star-planet system. So the star is Qatar 3, Qatar 4, and Qatar 5.
النجوم هي قطر 3 قطر 3.
هاي الكواكب أستاذ أحمد.
دي انديكيشن للسكند اوبجكت، للحاجه الثانيه الاساسيه. دي ده للبلانيت نفسه، لكن النجم نفسه اسمه قطر 3. بنسميه النجم قطر 3 فبيدور حوالين كوكب فسموه قطر 3 بي.
مجردنا ضرب التبادل.
لا اكسبلانيت خارج ال asking
our galaxy
it is in our galaxy in the Milky Way.
Yes, it's
the same stars as Milky Way, but not in the solar system. The same outside the solar system. Okay.
Because it becomes very difficult to detect stars
outside
the Milky Way. There is one possible planet being detected outside the Milky Way in the Andromeda Galaxy. That's one candidate. I'll just show you the video.
My name is Dr. Khalid Al-Sabai. I am the Executive Director of Qatar Energy and Environment Institute. Search project was initiated in 2009 and it is actually about finding exoplanet. And the exoplanet is about finding planets around other stars than our sun or the solar system.
An extrasolar planet is a planet orbiting around a faraway star outside our own solar system. The 3 new Qatar planets belong to a category astronomers call hot Jupiters, planets very large and very hot. Qatar 3b, 4b and 5b are 12 to 17 times larger than the Earth, and their temperatures range between 1300 to 1600 degrees. Qatar exoplanets need 2 days for a full orbit around their host star, considerably shorter than Earth's 365 days. Qatar X-Planet survey team is measuring the light of millions of stars every minute since 2010. If an exoplanet passes between Earth and the host star, the light of the star decreases while the planet transits the star. This is the signature of an exoplanet. The data is analyzed in Doha by the most sophisticated signal detection algorithms for millions of stars. And this is the original discovery signal of Qatar 4b.
Right now we are in the 5th place, but by next year we expect to be the 3rd in the ranking.
This is Qatar 3b and its host star. Qatar 3b has a temperature of 1300 degrees and is 12 times larger than Earth. And this is Qatar 5b, located 1400 light years away, or 14 quadrillion kilometers. That's 14 followed by 14 zeros. Qatar Exoplanet Survey is building 3 more stations around the world, in the USA, Spain and China. Qatar Exoplanet Survey will become the only team in the Northern Hemisphere and the second team in the world that collects data for 24 hours continuously, avoiding the daytime gaps. Qatar Exoplanet is already the 4th best team in the world out of 30, with more discoveries expected.
The most important thing of this discovery is just to remind all of us in the Arab and Islamic world that we had really great history in this science, and everybody should know all the bright stars in the sky in the best catalog around the world, all of them carry Arabic names. Nobody knows that. So really our heritage belongs there, and we shouldn't abandon that. We are the West is new for this science, but we are not. We have created, and we should come back and with big force do it again. This should really give for our new generation hope that we are able to come back to our old glory.
Given that astronomy is science with a wow, we're almost obliged to materialize on the momentum for fostering education and development. With support by a $1 million grant from Qatar National Research Fund and working with the Ministry of Education and Higher Education, we've developed a portfolio of public engagement activities that complement each other and together form our Fascination Astronomy program, which addresses a variety of target groups: teachers, school classes, particularly gifted individual students, and the wider public in general. Our program Fascination Astronomy is hosted and coordinated by Kerry, the Qatar Energy and Environment Research Institute, member of Qatar Foundation, and involves strong local and international partners, bringing together all the required complementary expertise, experience, and connections. We started the first phase of activities a year ago and continue to further shape the future of our efforts through your feedback and suggestions, and we're definitely listening to what you're telling us. Our Fascination Astronomy program has specific aims that fall into at least one of 3 categories: supporting the growth of talent towards a sustainable innovation system, anchoring science in modern Qatari society, and highlighting Qatar as a well-respected partner in a culturally diverse world. We intend to inspire the people of Qatar towards questioning and exploring, towards higher education, towards science careers, and towards appreciating the value of science. We let school children experience scientific process, the link between modern science and cultural heritage, and science as an international endeavor. Moreover, we will demonstrate to the outside world that Qatar is a country of science and culture, and not just sand and oil. As our program continues, we'll build and foster local, regional, and international networks, which with our dedicated support will develop their own dynamics and further drive forward our case. To be very clear, the main goal is not to turn everybody we come across into an astronomer. That's a very small fraction of the population. Our program will affect a much larger fraction, letting people acquire skills and insight that will be valuable whatever profession they're in.
الكلام سريعا بيتكلم عن الهدف من البرنامج بتاعنا. طبعا نتكلم على الجراند اللي احنا واخدينها لمده 3 سنين ونشتغل على which phases اللي هم التيتشر والسكولز. دخلنا بعد كده في الهدف من البرنامج بتاعنا. الاهداف كتير ولكن احنا بنركز ان احنا عشان قطر الصوره الخارجيه ليها ما تبقاش بس بلد البترول بس وكده، لا لازم برضه يبقى عارف ان هي بلد ليها ثقافه وليها تاريخ وليها اهتمام بالعلوم.
Let me introduce our team to you by showing our family portrait with those highlighted in bold being present today. I already mentioned Khalid, who pulls together all the strings here in Qatar. Hani and Ahmed are the ones devoting all their enthusiasm full time to actually carrying out our activities. I myself support our former PhD student Khalid as astronomy outreach coordinator in St. Andrews, and myself having a deep interest in development in the Middle East as well as in education. Jean, who sits in the back at the moment, is really our guru for hands-on activities, and you will have a session with him later today. So probably start in something like 15 minutes or so. Edward, who unfortunately could not be here today, is responsible for the education programs of LCOGT, that's Cumbus Observatory Global Telescope Network, which is our telescope network partner, who have a network of robotic telescopes. He has extensive experience in working with schools and has designed our teacher resources.
التعريف يعني هو جاست تعريف بالجروب وكل واحد بيشتغل ايه بالظبط وكل واحد عباره عن ايه. احنا كلنا موجودين ما عدا دكتور ادوارد، هو اللي مش قادر يبقى موجود بينا النهارده.
With a range of useful equipment, an inflatable planetarium, a range of small telescopes, the access to a robotic science class telescope network, and we've also been working with the Galileoscopes, a simple small telescope with high quality optics for self-assembly. We do not pretend to be better teachers, but instead we're here to support you. We developed a range of student activities along with teacher materials that could be used in classes, which are currently being piloted with a small number of schools for potential wider rollout at a further stage. Have our team come to your school for one of our Inspire workshops, which typically last 3 to 4 hours. We'll engage the students in extracurricular activities that come with a fun factor in which they closely interact with our facilitators, which are Ahmed and Hani. These will act as a kind of catalyst for the students to unleash their potential, encourage creativity, foster the development of skills, and allow them to acquire knowledge through exploration.
بنتكلم عن البروجرام والزيارات اللي احنا بنقوم بيها للمدرسه، بقوم بيها انا وزميلي هاني. والزيارات بتاعتنا ملخصها عاده بتبقى بنبقى في المدرسه في حدود من 3 ل 4 ساعات. بنقوم بعمل محاضره عن الفلك، تعريف الاولاد بالفلك. بتكون محاضره علميه. جاست الاولاد اللي حتى ما يعرفوش حاجه عن الفلك بيقدروا تسمعوا عنه، زائد ان احنا بنحمل معانا التلسكوب طبعا والبلانيتاريوم عشان نقدر نخلي الاولاد يحسوا ان الموضوع موضوع شيق، عشان يبقى عندهم البعث انهم يشتغلوا معانا.
بس الزيارات دي بتكون اثناء
اثناء
صعوبه في عمليه الاستكشاف.
استكشاف ايه بالظبط؟
يعني تعليم الاولاد.
لا احنا المحاضرات وزياراتنا بتبقى زيارات مدرسيه في اليوم الدراسي العادي. احنا بنشتغل معاهم المحاضره، وبيبقى معانا التلسكوب الشمسي بيشوف الشمس والسان سبوتس والكلام دوت، زائد البلانيتاريوم بتاخدهم بنديهم محاضره جوه البلانيتاريوم 10 دقائق بيشوفوا، لان البلانيتاريوم انت قاعد كانك قاعد في سينما 3 دي، فبتبقى الموضوع شيق بالنسبه للكبار والصغيرين حقيقي، فبتبقى جميله، فالاولاد بتبقى مبسوطه، بيبقى حاجه علميه ولكن بشكل يعني بتحاول تدخلها الاولاد بشكل كويس. استكشاف ايه بقى؟ انا مش فاهم حاجه.
استخدام التلسكوبات دي اثناء
النهار لا
الشمس.
هو التلسكوب التلسكوب بس هو اللي بيستخدم الشمس، ما ينفعش استخدم اي تلسكوب تاني، لان اي تلسكوب تاني يضيع العين، لان هو التلسكوب يبقى فيه الفلتر بتاعه تقدر تبص للشمس بامان.
At more advanced age, students deserve to be challenged in such a way that an increasing degree of independence in addressing and solving problems is being taken into account. With the astronomy Olympiads, we will lead students to become independent learners. And there are two programs. The first of which being the International Olympiad on Astronomy and Astrophysics, for which Qatar will be the first Arab country to participate in the upcoming competition in India from the 9th to the 19th of December. The Qatari team was selected by us on the basis of a national exam and subsequent dedicated training for 20 students, from which the final 5 are chosen. This competition is best suited for students in their final years of high school because that marks the last opportunity for them to take part, and they do not have to be Qatari nationals. Another Olympiad is the Qatar National Astronomy Olympiad, which is a competition between school teams, focusing on practical problems and challenges. Now the teams will first be given problems and tasks to address, will then present their results at an exhibition stand forming part of a festival event, where their work will be judged and further competitions will take place. Now this specific workshop today will introduce you to the problem settings of the upcoming Qatar National Astronomy Olympiad. I would like to show you the video of the last one.
الكلام اتكلم دكتور مارتن على حاجتين اللي هم بقى الانترناشونال اولمبياد الانترناشونال اولمبياد. قطر هتكون السنه دي فيها مشاركه الهند كاول دوله عربيه تشارك في مثل هذا الاولمبياد. اخترنا عملنا امتحان من طلاب كتير، اخترنا منهم 20 طالب خدوا تريننج، في الاخر اخترنا منهم ال5 وهو ده الفريق اللي هيسافر للهند ان شاء الله السنه دي من يوم 9 ل 19 عشان يحضروا الاولمبياد دوت، اللي احنا فعلا اول دوله عربيه تشارك في الاولمبياد هي قطر. لان البروسيدير كانت طويله شويه وما كانش فيها دوله عربيه قدمت قبل كده واحنا الاولانيين. الثاني اللي هو الناشونال اولمبياد اللي احنا بصدد وجودنا النهارده. احنا النهارده ان شاء الله موجودين عشان هنعرف ايه هي البروجكتس المشاريع اللي هنشارك بيها ان شاء الله في الاولمبياد العام الحالي. وده فيديو اللي هو الاولمبياد بتاع السنه اللي فاتت. المرحله الثانويه هنا اهوت، والمرحله الاعداديه في الصف اللي جنبنا احنا كلنا مشاريع الثانوي، والصف اللي هناك بيتقابلوا مشاريع الاعدادي.
So you will see these exhibition stands. You see last time we asked students to prepare a scale model of the solar system. And I think it was fascinating to see, the large variety of skills the student developed through these projects. So not only directly in their scientific understanding, this was only one aspect, but also how to work together in a team, how to source, materials, how to produce something. Some of the artistic skills really came out. Students painting there. Something I personally experienced over recent years is that when people say, well, we have sciences here, we have arts there, it's not like that. There's absolutely no arts without science, and there's no science without arts. Because science is full of creative processes. You have similar creative processes in the arts. So you always have both. I mean, you have these wonderful, in Arabia, you have these wonderful ornaments, but they're so beautiful. They're full of mathematics. Really the fundamental underlying concept of these Qatar National Astronomy Olympiads is to let the students learn not from listening, but actually from doing something. And we were actually quite surprised to see the variety of creative solutions that the students and their teachers came up with. And it was not always the same solution. So right on the day, so we also had specific competitions for the students also, test some of their skills. Here you see a very creative solution. So the students have been asked, to document their efforts properly, to show what I've done, make some nice pictures, make a video about their activities. So here you see the students addressing a more theoretical program. Towards the end, we had a big ceremony handing out the prizes and prize money. So we had we not only have one winner, we had many winners. So not only did the judges get something, but the students actually got something. So in the picture you see Dr. Asma Al-Mohammadi from the Ministry of Education and Higher Education. And just on your left, Dr. Abdus Sattar Taidi, Director of Qatar National Research Fund. So this was the recent edition. The next one is coming up. Do you have any questions at this point?
بس دي كانت المقدمة شباب. دي كانت المقدمة سريعة على حسب السنة اللي فاتت، وإن شاء الله هنبدأ دلوقتي في الشغل تحضير العام الحالي الحكومي. كل ما هو متعلق بورشة العمل هو متعلق بالبروجكتس اللي احنا هنشتغلها إن شاء الله مع الطلاب لما نشارك في المسابقة السنوية. السنة اللي فاتت كنا قلنا المشاريع متأخر شوية. السنة دي قررنا تبقى ورشة العمل إن إحنا بنشتغل معاكم في المشاريع، وهم هيجيبوا مشروعين. بالنسبة للثانوي هيجيب أسترولاب وصندايق. الأسترولاب هيقدموا معانا البروجرام دلوقتي. اللي عنده أي أسئلة نشرحها بالإنجلش. زي ما انتم شايفين إحنا مش بنحاول